So coming with technology, I mean, I spoke to Elon a couple of times about this, where I've been trying to convince him, to do drones. And his answer wasn't what I expected. So there's still an ongoing conversation, but I believe sooner or later that humanity will change dramatically once the drone arrives. Because when the drone arrives, it means that we can travel much further and go to places much more conveniently. Let's look at it this way. If we only had the horse right now, communities would be much smaller and tighter because we can only travel so far, right? You wouldn't have this thing where I can drive 8 minutes. No, the cities would be tiny, right? And there'd be more cities, but tiny. But because we have the car, cities are more spread out, particularly in America, where there's bigger freeways, we can get further in places and so on. But when we have the drone, it means that my 8-minute ride from this house to the restaurant or the hospitals or schools, whatever it may be, can be at least an hour drive away, right? But it's in the middle of nowhere right now, where the land is cheap and there's no buildings, there's no water, there's no ecosystems, and all that's going to be self-contained in the future, and in not the distant future, the near future. So that's going to be pretty interesting. So when that is done, there's going to be ecosystems out there that have to supply and work for those cultures and those towns that pop up. Towns that are going to be full of families and kids that are not going to be in the workplace 8 hours a day or in school. And what are the creative activities and things that these kids and families are going to do, and these communities? So that ultimately is going to be some of the interesting stuff ahead of us. How do we create ecosystems and tools to support that future? So I know it's a little bit ahead of time. It's not tomorrow, but the minute that drone is announced, the minute your real estate and all your fancy little cities is going to plummet, because people naturally want to move from a tent to an apartment to a house to their own resort, right? I mean, people love going to resorts, right? And everyone's stuck in these little houses next to each other. But everyone always wants to expand, but they can't because they're limited because of real estate. But as people move outside the existing ecosystem, they're going to have a lot more space, and they're going to have their own, let's say, resorts. So there's going to be a lot more things for them to do in nature, and you're probably also going to see a change in terms of where people live. They're going to move out of colder climates and move into probably slightly warmer climates, so they can be more outdoors. Designing experiences and stuff like that is something I'm excited about. I talk about this with friends pretty regularly about, how do we plan for the future? What are our kids going to do? Because people often ask me, well, what should my kids do in school? What should they be? And I'm like, well, not a lawyer, not a doctor, not any of that. But what they should be is an adaptive mother effer, right? That can manipulate everything possible in the most positive way. But creativity is going to be at the center of our future, right? How do we ultimately, create an insane ecosystem around our future living conditions? That's going to be interesting. Sorry for the pivot, just throwing it all out there.
Oh, no, I love it. And there's a hell of a lot of hope in that. For someone who started that by saying we're all fucked, there's a hell of a lot of hope coming out of the other side of that, to me, is what I'm perceiving. And I love the idea of, off the back of everything that's happening, we've got, roughly speaking, 2 ways to go. One is the kind of Disney Wall-E, we're all on the spaceship lying on space lounges whilst robots clear up the mess that we've made down here. Not particularly interested in that one. And 2 is, like you say, everything is automated to the point where it frees us up to do the important things, spend time with the ones that you love. To be human, exactly.
To live on this planet.